Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, scholars and dignitaries, welcome to another episode. Welcome to my world. Hello, friends. So I'd like to speak with you for just a few minutes on a very important topic, but one which is underappreciated by most people. And please stay until the end because it'll become very clear by then. I asked a close friend to do a word association for me, just one word, but I wanted her immediate response. Now, without discussing this with her, I knew that she had some hurt in her life, that there were periods, like for so many of us, where she experienced some intense emotional pain. So I asked her, what was the first word that came to her mind when I said the word forgiveness? And almost immediately she said, cleansing. And I nodded my head because I understood. And then she looked at me and she said, relief. And then she looked at me and said, freedom. This friend knew what she was talking about. She had, at one point, a great burden on her shoulders, one that weighed her down terribly. And the only way she could let go of it was by forgiving another person. You see, if you want cleansing of your mind, cleansing of your heart, cleansing of your soul, you need to forgive. If you want relief for your mind, relief for your heart, and relief for your soul, then you need to forgive. If you want freedom for your mind, freedom for your heart, and freedom for your soul, then you need to forgive. So what I want to do today is to review with you the 3 laws of forgiveness. Now, you know, I've said before that we have all types of laws, laws of physics, laws of mathematics, civil laws, criminal laws, tax laws, but we also have spiritual laws, and forgiveness falls primarily in the spiritual realm. Let me explain. Forgiveness is a conscious and deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance towards a person or people who have harmed you. It's letting go of your anger and especially any need you might have to retaliate. Maybe they insulted you, gossiped about you, betrayed your trust, disrespected you in some way, or maybe even verbally, emotionally, or physically attacked you. But they hurt you in some way, and it doesn't matter if it's a big or small hurt. And this decision to forgive is regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness or not, or even whether or not they said they were sorry and asked forgiveness. The act of forgiveness is yours to own, not theirs, and is not contingent upon anything they may say or do. And this is so important. Nothing destroys relationships like unforgiveness. Nothing destroys families like unforgiveness. Nothing destroys peace of mind like unforgiveness. So the first law of forgiveness is about letting go of resentment. Resentment is a form of the Latin word sentire, which means to feel. And resentment means to feel over and over again. It's normal and natural to feel angry if you've been hurt, especially if it's someone that meant to hurt you. But resentment is more than just situational anger. It remains, and like an echo, haunts you, maybe even day and night, going over and over the same event again and again, or having the same emotional reaction again and again, sometimes for years. But what resentment really is a poison. It's a poison not just to a relationship, a poison not just to the other person, but a poison to you, a poison that destroys your own sense of health and well-being. And people don't realize it, but resentment is self-destructive. And the only antidote for that negative poison coursing throughout your system is forgiveness, total forgiveness, unconditional forgiveness. Let the resentment go. And that brings us to the second law of forgiveness. Forgiveness heals. It heals us and brings us to a higher plane of health and wellness. We evolve, we transform, and yes, it heals relationships too. We've all been hurt in one form or another by a parent, a spouse, friend, sibling, coworker, and so on. But you can't go through life reacting to other people and their stuff. So what other option do you have? Do you really want to go through life and be on your guard at all times, reacting in a defensive posture to protect yourself from every little slight and every imagined slight? Or do you adopt a philosophy of freedom, of forgiveness, even to the point that it is automatic without you even thinking about it? Have you ever noticed on how some people can automatically forgive someone like what they did was never a problem? For instance, mothers always forgive their children if they spill a drink or break a window, or even if they pout and refuse to do what you tell them. Be like that mother. And that brings us to the third law of forgiveness. It is one of the highest forms of spiritual practice. Jesus taught to forgive no matter what. So St. Peter went up to Jesus one day and said, Master, my brother has wronged me, but I have forgiven him. But if he wrongs me again, must I forgive him again? How many times should I forgive my brother? As many as 7? And Jesus said, no, not 7, but 70 times 7. In other words, Jesus said that no matter what somebody does to you, no matter how many times, forgive them. And he didn't just say it, he himself practiced it. They spit on him, they mocked him, they slapped him, they whipped, flogged, and scourged him. They forced a crown of thorns on his head, and they crucified him in the most painful, humiliating, and barbaric way to die. But Jesus looked down from the cross and said, quote, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Even unto death itself, Jesus forgave his betrayers, his torturers, his killers. That's the power of forgiveness. So forgiveness is about goodness, about extending mercy to those who have harmed us, even if they don't deserve it. Forgiveness is about healing a wound, and it is the best way to transform anguish into joy. And while you may think that forgiveness is for the other person, in reality, it is best for you. Studies have shown that forgiving others produces strong psychological benefits for the one who forgives. It elevates our moods, builds our optimism, builds hope, decreases depression, anxiety, stress, anger, and even the symptoms of PTSD. So we don't just forgive to help others, it's the best thing for everyone in the situation, for everyone. Forgiveness is a superpower, and it's a superpower that we all have. Forgiveness gives us an inner grace, a healing that allows us to let go of hatred instead of allowing it to eat at you. And it removes the toxicity, the poison of resentment, and is the only thing that can do that. So one of the biggest lessons we can learn in life is knowing when and how to let something go. We can all get stuck in a place of anger when something bad happens to us, or when we feel as if we've been wronged. But staying in that place of anger and harboring that resentment will only hurt us more. And remember that if you find it hard to forgive, well, remember that forgiveness is a process. It doesn't mean you're a failure at forgiveness. It's a process that may take time and patience, but practice, humility, and surround yourself with good and wise people who you know easily forgives others, and soon you'll find that you have a forgiving heart, and it'll be a natural thing for you to do. Do it until it's not a decision, but a lifestyle. Hey, be safe, be well, and don't let anger, bitterness, and resentment drag you down. Choose forgiveness over hatred, and may God bless.